Hey guys, and welcome into another video. Today we're going to be doing yet another mock draft. First off, I want to apologize for the lack of videos lately. Just been doing a lot of extra hours at my actual job, so haven't really had the time to sit down and do some videos, but we're going to try and cram some out today and tomorrow, get back on a good uploading schedule. So appreciate you guys for sticking with me as well, but I figured what's a better way than going to a mock draft. So we're just going to be doing a kind of a normal one. We're going to be doing a little bit of a twist, and let's see which position we get here. We get the first overall pick. All right. I'm going to spin again because I want to try something kind of different. I don't want... All right, ninth. That works for me. So ninth overall. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be taking a quarterback in the first round. And we're going to see how this is. Because here's the thing. A lot of teams look at Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. They're like, okay, how do we do these? Like, if I want them, am I going to get them? That kind of stuff. So we're going to keep the same exact settings that we usually do here. Not doing defense or kickers. Not really needed. But we're going to have our bench slots. We're going to have our tight end, receivers, running backs, etc. And, of course, 2 flex spots as well. And then we're just going to be doing normal. We're not going to have a pick clock or anything like that. So we're just going to get it started pretty much right here, and we'll load it up. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking a quarterback with the first pick that we have. And it's just going to show you how your team is going to look by the end of it because, in some drafts, in some leagues, where, it's not really the most competitive, or even if it is, there's still a lot of players that like to take a quarterback right away, and it's a weird spot, but sometimes it works out. I know that my brother 2 years ago won with Patrick Mahomes on his team. He got him in free agency because no one had him at the beginning of the year. So the next year he drafted him first overall, and he had a very, very good start to his season. Then injuries started to happen, so his team ended up falling down. But he was having a good start to his season. Everyone was looking like on the first of all, I'm just looking at the team name Apple in my IU because that's kind of funny. But when he was starting out the first few weeks, he looked very good, and everyone's like, wow, like he took Mahomes first round, we clowned him for it, and now he's doing pretty well. So it can work. It really can. It's just a matter of being able to know who you should be able to draft. So we're here on the Fantasy Pros website. Right now, it's still not updated for use on the Sleeper app. There's still like Antonio Brown and all these guys. They're still in there. So anyway, going here to where we're at, if you guys are new to this, they show kind of tier list of players. So these are guys who are in this tier that you're going to want, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, etc. But what we're going to do, we're going to go to quarterback here, and we are actually going to take Lamar Jackson with our first overall pick. And we're just going to show you how this works. So it is going to be a little bit weird, but if you are thinking, hey, maybe I want to do this, this is something you want to look at. So we'll go through the mock draft here and look at how we are. So now that we have Lamar Jackson, you look at who's still on the board. Chris Godwin's on the board. Then you have Kelsey, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones, George Kittle, Galladay, etc. I think that the best place to start is with a role that we know is going to be dominated, right? So we could take a Chris Godwin, who is the only guy left in this tier 2 category, but he is going to be sharing the ball with Evans, with obviously Rob Gronkowski as well. We don't know how this offense is going to completely work. Now, Godwin is a beast of a player. If you believe in Godwin as a top 10 receiver or something, definitely go get him here. I'm a little bit worried just because of the Mike Evans thing. We're going to get him a running back here. So we're going to get ourselves Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas Raiders. We know he has a predominant role in that offense. We know he's going to run the ball a lot for them. So now we already have a quarterback and a running back, and we're going to be able to use receivers later on as well. So now looking at who's still on the board, I think it's a pretty simple pick here for us at this moment in time. We're going to be taking DJ Moore from Carolina. Easily their number one. Had a very good year last year, breakout year for him. He's looking to improve on that this upcoming year. And we didn't really lose too many people in this draft so far. Remember, this is just a redraft. So a lot of times, like Le'Veon and stuff like this, these are guys you're going to want to avoid usually. But these are guys that are going to be here. And now looking here, I think that we can go either running back or receiver here. There's a lot of good options here. When we look at running backs tend to go fast. So if you are not happy with one of these guys, you're pretty much going to have to settle for somebody else. But I see a receiver here that I think is pretty high. And should be up there, and he's not because people are overlooking him. That's Keenan Allen. We're getting Keenan Allen here as well, on top of DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Josh Jacobs, Lamar Jackson. Right now, the team is looking pretty solid, a team that I wouldn't be mad going into. So now we look at the running back, because obviously we need to get a running back here. I think we go with a guy who we know is going to have this role pretty much locked down, at least just for this season, and that's Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram they got J.K. Dobbins, and they're going to be able to do stuff, but overall, you're going to get a good production year out of Mark Ingram like you always do. David Montgomery is still on the board, but so is Raheem Mostert, and I'm a little bit bigger of a Mostert fan than Montgomery. We're going to take him here as well, and then we can take a break on running backs. We can get one later on, maybe a guy who ends up being something, but we have 3 running backs. That's solid for now. It's time to go after other people. So looking at who is still here on the board, how they have a tier list ranked out, we see quarterbacks going obviously through here. Mahomes ended up going in the 3rd round, but You see, when you take a quarterback in the first round, it doesn't necessarily hinder your team. When you look at a team, let's see, is our team who took it's a team that took Dak Prescott. They have Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Todd Gurley, AJ Brown, DJ Shark. That's not too different from where our team is at. Josh Jacobs, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Mark Ingram, Raheem Mostert. The only big difference is that he's got a better running back core than we do right now, obviously. But our quarterback plays is most likely going to be a lot better than what his is. We have that. So as you see, it isn't going to be very detrimental to your team if you're able to build your team the right way and if the draft falls your way. So now we're here at the 709. We definitely need to get some more receivers. So going over to the receiver spot, I see Marquise Brown. That's a good stack with our quarterback here, Lamar Jackson. And on top of that, you're going to be able to get a lot of points out of him, a lot of production, because last year he was injured a lot of the time. This year he should be fully healthy and ready to go in his second year. Going into this 8th round, I'm going to take Christian Kirk here. Pretty simple. Christian Kirk's in a good offense, really good offense. He's got a good role with obviously DeAndre Hopkins going there as well. Now we have a full roster besides the tight end. Now, we could look at the tight end position right now. Who is still there? Noah Fant, Mike Gesicki, Hayden Hurst, Rob Gronkowski. There's a lot of guys here that we were able to do. So I'm not really necessarily too scared to wait a few more rounds on them. I think that this is something that we can definitely wait on. So let's go look at just all players and see who is there. Philip Lindsay, Matt Breida, Kerryon Johnson, Aaron Rodgers are all still there. Now, I think that the safe thing to do here is take a guy like Matt Breida because he's somebody who could win the starting job. I don't think Kerryon Johnson is going to have the starting job this year. I think it's going to be Swift. I don't think Lindsey's going to get the starting job. It's obviously going to be Gordon. Ronald Jones could. I think he will. But overall, I think a guy who's at least going to get production no matter what, let alone could be a starter, is Matt Breida. So we're going to take him there because he is going to give us that upside there. Now we have 4 solid running backs. I think it's time to get a receiver. Another receiver. And going to the receiver, there's a lot of options. Deontay Johnson's poised for a breakout year because they need him to have a breakout year. We already have DJ Moore. It wouldn't make sense to get Robbie Anderson. Golden Tate's a very good PPR receiver. We are in half-point PPR. And you look down here, I like McCole Hardman and Justin Jefferson as well. But I think it's pretty much between Deontay Johnson and Golden Tate. And we're going to take Deontay Johnson here. If Golden Tate somehow falls to us, which I don't think he will, that'd be good. He already went there. But very good PPR guy, but I'd rather have the upside of Deontay Johnson because he's in a more predominant role, more pass-heavy offense than what the Giants have. So now we're here at round 11, and I see a guy here in N'Keal Harry who could be the number 1 receiver going into this year. Depending on how they look at it, he's probably going to be their best outside guy. Going into year 2 should be a lot better. Now, when we're here at the 12, this is just filling out the bench. You pretty much can go where you want. So I'm going to take Daniel Jones here, who is still on the board. A lot of upside. If there's ever a week, obviously when Lamar has a bye week, we can throw Daniel Jones in there, as well as if Daniel Jones is starting to blow up, maybe Lamar Jackson's hurt or something like that, it's somebody that I trust to put in there because you never know what's going to happen, especially with a build like Lamar Jackson. You're going to want to be as safe as you can. But then we still need a tight end. And the thing is that once you get past these tight ends here, I think Austin Hooper, maybe Tyler Higbee as well, once you get past them, look at the big drop-off on tight ends. No one drafts a tight end for the next 3 rounds, full 3 rounds. And the reason why is because tight ends just really aren't that high of a commodity, especially when you miss out on these guys. If you're not willing to spend top tight end capital on them, you really might as well just wait. We're still able to get Noah Fant here in round 13, which I think is a perfect pick. We're also going to get another tight end in this next round because we don't have a very set tight end spot here. A lot of people like Mike Gesicki this year. I'm not the biggest fan of him. I'd much rather have a guy in T.J. Hawkinson who last year had a decent first game, had a very good first game and then a decent season after that. But with Matthew Stafford back, he should be doing a lot better. So we're going to get Hawkinson and Fant, both of the Iowa tight ends from last year. So we have a very good set there. And then now we're here in our last round, in round 15. You can pretty much go wherever you want. You can go best available. You can do whatever you feel like. A lot of tight ends are here. A lot of receivers are going to be there. There's running backs that have opportunities as well. I think we're going to go with a receiver here. Looking at who's around, I think the best option here is going to be Allen Lazard out of Green Bay. We're going to take him, and we're going to look at our team after the fact. So we got to see 74 out of 100. The grades don't really matter, but we're going to look just here at the team right here. So when you took Lamar Jackson in the first round, you still end up with running backs in Josh Jacobs and Mark Ingram. Those are solid, right? They're not going to be flashing off the page like, wow, this is a great running back tandem, but they are going to get you fantasy value. Josh Jacobs is a very good running back, probably going to be a top 10 running back without a doubt in my mind, at the end of the year, Mark Ingram always seems to exceed expectations every year. I don't see a reason that would slow down now, even with Dobbins added to the backfield. Receiving core, Hollywood Brown, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. Again, not a group that's going to be like, whoa, look at this receiver core, and it's not going to scare teams. But once again, fantasy value. You know Keenan Allen is going to give you points, especially because whoever's playing the quarterback is going to look for that number one. DJ Moore as well, being the number one receiver for that Teddy Bridgewater offense now, he's going to be looked at a lot. He had a breakout year last year. I don't see a reason why that would slow down. And Marquise Brown to stack with Lamar Jackson. So when Lamar Jackson's getting points, Marquise Brown is getting points, vice versa. That's going to do a lot for your team. That speed value, the touchdown value, the big play value is going to help you out because he's a guy who can turn a slant route into a 40-yard touchdown that could save you a week. We have two tight ends here. I'm going to skip a little bit down because obviously Noah Fant and TJ Hawkinson. It's really potato. Whoever has a better week, whoever has a better matchup, whoever you feel more comfortable with, you're going to be able to put in. One of them is poised to break out, so you can look for whoever does that, and maybe you have the next Mark Andrews on your team, which would be great to see. But then you look at who's in our flex and our bench. Raheem Mostert, Christian Kirk. That is a very good flex combo to have, especially in a 12-team league. The reason why Mostert's pretty much earned himself a starting job after last season, after the playoffs, everything like that. Christian Kirk, we know he's going to be not the slot, obviously, because that's kind of Larry's position now, but he's going to have a very good role in this offense because he's not really going to be covered as much that he was last year because obviously Larry doesn't really need double coverage anymore. Obviously Larry's a beast, but the speed factor isn't there. Christian Kirk has that speed factor. He has kind of a big play factor as well, kind of a low-key, solid receiver. But with DeAndre Hopkins there, the opportunities that Hopkins is going to get, people are going to be shading towards his side, leaving Kirk open, which is good. But you have a guy in Matt Breida, like I said, if you want a guy who is possibly going to be a starter this year, but you're not going to have to pay starter capital for him, Matt Breida's your guy. It's simply enough. In my Dynasty League, Matt Breida was like a 4th-round pick or something like that, which was insane to me. But the upside is there. Then we have Deontay Johnson, N'Keal Harry, and Allen Lazard as our bench receivers. All those guys are breakout candidates. They have good roles set up for them, depending on how they can use them. Lazard had a very good end to last year, which is very good. N'Keal Harry had a rough rookie season, but was dealing with injuries, so he should be able to get back and better on the field this year with the Patriots. And then you have Deontay Johnson, who had a very good rookie season and is poised to do a lot better with Big Ben back in the lineup. And, of course, Daniel Jones as the backup quarterback in case anything happens to Lamar Jackson. It's pretty much just a safety option for you to do. Or if he decides to blow up, maybe you can trade him along with another piece and upgrade one of those positions that you missed out on the draft. So basically what you're doing here is you're getting a solid team, and you're kind of getting like an 80 overall team. Like like you're not gonna have any like X factors. You're not gonna have any of these guys, the great guys, but you're gonna have a very solid team and a beast of a quarterback. And the thing that's cool about having this, I have Lamar in my fantasy Dynasty League. When you get a guy like Lamar Jackson on your team, it just makes Sundays a lot more fun because you get to watch one of the most entertaining football players in the world play on Sundays and be happy because he's getting all those points for your team. That is the best feeling. So if you're one of those guys, if maybe like I remember when I was younger, especially if you're young, if you're new to fantasy football, quarterbacks seem like they're the highest commodity, right? I remember I had a number 1 overall pick one year and I drafted Tom Brady over Peyton Manning, and neither of those should have been the pick. But the reason why is because I was just young. I knew quarterbacks. I liked quarterbacks. That's how it was. So when you look at what you have here, you're getting a solid quarterback here in the first round, and yet you're still going to be able to build your team outside of that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I like doing these mock drafts because I kind of try and fly through them as quick as possible, giving short explanations for you to understand them, not take up too much of your time, only about 13 minutes in, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the content. Again, apologies for the lack of uploads, but we're going to get right back to it now. So if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to leave a like on it. If you didn't, refresh the page, check it out again, and I'll see you guys in the next video.